Hi, everybody. John Harris here with you, leading this motley crew. Well, I don't know about leading, but I do know about the motley and the crew. Uh, Here with our pal Billy Smith, bad boy Bill. How you doing, Bill?
All right, Johnny. How you doing, pal?
All right, pal. And Roger Rebegila. How they do, Reds?
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Took me a year and a half to learn how to say his name right, Bill. And the worst part is, it is exactly how it's spelled. I just kept screwing it up
You're
forever.
not
I
on
screwed up
phonics?
on stage. I screwed it up everywhere. And Roger just looked at one point, I think one show I gave up, didn't I? Just said, here's Roger, he'll tell you how to say his last name. It's like I gave up. And I'm like, what
Yeah,
the hell's wrong with my fat ass?
Need hook on phonics, man.
it
Man, I'm
happens.
telling you, it was bad. Poor Roger was
It's
like, can I
Croatian
get
phonics is a little different.
Oh, I butchered it so bad, Bill. People had to wonder if I knew the language. And Roger, something's wrong here. Uh, we'll go over our week six results. Roger struggled a little bit, but he's maintaining over 50%, so he's still got room to move on up. But he had a tough week against the odds. He was above 500 straight up picks at 8 and 6. But against the spread, he was 5 and 9, so he had a tough week. Uh, there were a few upsets this week, and the point spreads were a little tough. Um, Bill, you had a pretty good week. You were 11 and 3 in games and 9 and 5 against the odds. Um,
About time.
I'll take that
yeah, Roger would take that all week long.
all week.
All week. I was 13 and 1 in games.
Wow.
Uh, thankfully, I think for a couple of changes. Of course, I had the one was a game I wanted to change and I couldn't pull the trigger like an idiot. The Jacksonville was it Jacksonville? Yeah, I wanted to pull the trigger on that one and I no, where is it? It's here somewhere. Oh yeah, the Chargers Denver. I wanted to change it and I didn't like a dumbass. Um, and 12 and 2 against the spread. So I had a pretty good week. You'd have made some money this week.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's lucky. No, it's what it is, Roger. And I don't know if I think I did explain it to you at one point. Bill and I use different systems, and it's been strange. We've been doing this. This is our fourth year, Bill, maybe? It's
Yeah, at
third.
least.
I think
I think this might be our fourth.
this is our fourth, I think. We use two completely different systems. I usually go by the eye test, injuries, regular information, and Bill goes a lot by the numbers. I mean, he still uses eye test, but he combines it with some analytical stuff, which he's always studying because he's in fantasy leagues and everything else. And so it's almost like two completely different systems, but it's weird at the end of the year, we're always within a game or two of each other by the time it ends. I mean, one might take a big lead and then all of a sudden the other one catches up. And by the end of the season, we're usually within a couple of games of each other. Last year, wasn't it the Super Bowl that broke the tie?
I think that was the year before.
Or year before? Yeah. We were dead even until the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think you won the first year, and then the second one was the tiebreaker, and then I won last year.
And you won last year. Yeah. I I came within a game because of the Super Bowl because the Chiefs one fucking game. I mean, that'll tell you how as long as you do your homework. And I know you basically an eye test guy, I think too, aren't you?
Yeah, and I look at the numbers and I try to play the the pickers against themselves.
Right.
So when the lines go too far one way, I think that's where you have to hammer it.
Yeah. And you have, home dogs and all that stuff.
Home favorites, yeah.
Sometimes I don't do much with the home dog, home favorite issue. Bill does, and it works for him. Uh, what's really cool about it, I think 3 of the 4 years we have finished better than the Vegas odds makers, both of us.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, last year was the closest, but we still both beat them. So uh, that all being said, there you go, Bill. That being said, uh, Before we get started, I want to acknowledge our sponsor before Bill yells at me for not doing it, which is his job. It kind of keeps me on track. But I want to thank our folks at Vineland Realty Corporation, Dennis and Graldi and the crew at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, for all your residential and business property needs, whether you're renting, buying, leasing, selling, whatever you need to do. Dennis and that crew have great resources and they will help you in every way imaginable. At 634 East Landis Avenue, Vineland, New Jersey, Vineland Realty Corporation. Their phone number is 856-690-9482. That's 856-690-9482. We want to thank Dennis, his girl Friday down there, Helen, and all the crew at Vineland Realty Corporation for sponsoring everything that the Public John does. Thank you guys. It's awesome. We appreciate it. So here we go, week 6. We just went over our findings for week 6. A couple of games were unexpected, but we all muddled through it. But we're ready for week 7, guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let us, as they say, let us rock and roll, my friends. Okay. Somebody will probably say that was offensive.
Yeah, the NFL season always flies by. Here we are, week 7.
Week 7. Here we go. All 3 of us won the other night because we all took Denver to beat the spread against New Orleans, and boy, did they ever. You kind of, I couldn't understand why it was only 3, even though it was in New Orleans. You had both receivers out. They did move it up from 2.5 to 3 right before, about an hour before game time. I made it 3, and it didn't matter anyway. So for all of us, but yeah, with both of your starting wide receivers out, and did you guys see that Shahir's gone for the season?
Yeah, he's out for the year. Yep.
He's out for the year with a bad knee. So he's got, I think he's already had surgery on it. They already did it, I think. So we have both receivers out, and you're starting your backup rookie quarterback. I just didn't see how they were going to stay in the game. So, and they didn't. So there you go. Actually, they kind of did the first half, but the second half, Denver just took over. So
I almost picked New Orleans. I'm glad I thought it through.
yeah, always think it through because when you put everything together, it was like the thing is it was in New Orleans too, but
that's what got me. New Orleans at home is usually a good pick.
Yep.
Yeah, but problem there was and of course now they're already talking about firing Dennis Allen because of that game. I'm like, if you were going to fire him, you should have fired him last year. I mean, you waited a bit too long. And of course, they gave him something. Oh no, that was Drew Brees night. So they wanted Sean Payton there because they had spent so much time. So they did it that night. But I'm like, that would not have been the night I would have picked if I wanted the team to win. So you knew Sean Payton was going to come in there fired up. The fans were fired up against him. So, so we all went 1-0 on that one. So we all got a good jump. Tomorrow morning, while you're eating your biscuits and gravy here out in Kansas, and Bill's eating his pork roll sandwich.
Yeah, the pork roll and cheese.
Pork roll and cheese, baby.
Sounds pretty good.
It is actually pretty good. It is.
Never had one.
Oh, you're missing out. You get a chance. Taylor pork roll. Right? Taylor's the best one, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah. And it's funny up north, or they call it ham, Taylor ham.
Yeah, like, further north than Jersey, they call it
pork roll.
Yeah, it's a pork roll. It doesn't. It's a pork either way. So what the hell? And it's in a roll. So what the?
Yeah.
New England is playing Jacksonville early in the morning. Jacksonville considered the home team, and they are in London every year. So they are picked by 6. The key here, remember, is Jacksonville's also been there for a week because they played there last week. So they've been in London and acclimated to any time difference for 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus New England's not good. So, oh yeah, forgot that part. New England's they're not good. Though Drake May did show some promise last week.
Yeah.
They've got nobody to block. They did say Richardson is questionable and may play tomorrow, but it's a game time decision. So that would be a running back, a weapon for them. But I just don't know, fellas. It is 6
You
points.
say Richardson or
You mean
Stevenson?
Stevenson.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Stevenson.
I meant Stevenson. I apologize. Thanks, Roger, for catching that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was a player I didn't know that was
Yeah.
good.
Hey, with New England right now, they're desperate. It could be anybody. Next week we could see Roger quarterback and Billy doing a little halfback option out in the flat. I'm still on the sideline with a clipboard. Okay, I'm done. I got no arm. I have an arm. It's just decorative. It's just nothing anymore. It's gone. Thousands of throws later, it's shot to shit. So 6 points. I took Jacksonville for some reason, and I may do a Roger and think it through before game time, but it means getting up early, so probably F that. I took New England to cover only because Jacksonville, they may win it, but boy, they look terrible. Their defense is horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to their defense because a
Yeah,
couple years ago they were pretty good.
yeah,
I got Jacksonville across the board. I don't want nothing to do with New England.
yeah. And who does, Bill? Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with John. I got Jacksonville, but I also have the Patriots covering there. 3 points. I think they'll get the run game going. New England to cover.
Okay, so here we go. All right. And yeah, only because I do kind of like what I saw out of Drake May. But like I said, I may change my mind only because New England's just terrible. They're terrible. They're terrible. As Chuck would say, they're terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. Detroit and Minnesota. It's in Minnesota, and the Vikings are picked by 1.5. I took Minnesota across the board. They're coming off a bye. They're rested. Detroit's kind of banged up. Let me see. Hutchinson's out, of course, for the season. They're saying, "Oh, he might be back for post." It'd be stupid.
No, yeah.
Just keep him out. I mean, he had to have surgery and actually broke his leg in 2 places, not just one, which is why they didn't show it. Give Fox credit; they didn't show the play even afterwards.
I saw it on Twitter, and it's not pretty.
Oh, it's awful. It reminded me. I was watching that game, and it reminded me of the Joe Theismann injury years ago. Bill, I don't know if you ever saw that, Roger.
Oh yeah, Lawrence Taylor, of course.
Yeah, yeah, and man, and of course Theismann was never the same. The Alex Smith injury, same thing. I gave Smith so much credit for coming back and playing as well as he did in Washington. What was it? 2 years, 3 years of recuperating, Bill, something like that. Wasn't it, guys?
He almost lost his leg, actually.
Almost
Smith.
lost his leg due to infection and everything else. And it wouldn't surprise me if 5 or 10 years down the road, the leg is fading away if he doesn't keep up with because he's going to have to do that kind of rehab stuff every day the rest of his life.
Yep.
So, but I did take Minnesota across the board for now. It's only a 1.5. That's why. Basically saying that the home crowd and Detroit's being hobbled a little bit. I think Minnesota's going to take it.
Yeah, I think this could be the game of the week, and I did the same. I took Minnesota across the board, even though Detroit needs the game a little more.
That's true. They do. And how long can Minnesota go undefeated? But they're going to start playing a tough part of their schedule now. Detroit, Green Bay, even the Bears are not also Rams at the moment.
They're creeping up. So I think Detroit's the better team, and Minnesota's going to have to lose eventually. I think I think right here, that's where I'm going to go with Detroit. Detroit to win.
That's not an outlandish pick. It's a close game, so yeah, you could be right. I give it that the teams are close to even, and giving it to Minnesota basically for home field, and Detroit won't have the pass rush they usually have. So Houston and Green Bay. Like we said, Nico Collins is out, Robert Woods is out, but Joe Mixon has returned for Houston. Green Bay doesn't have any significant injuries that I could see.
I think they're banged up a wide receiver. I think was it Reed that got hurt?
I thought he came back.
Reed was questionable.
Yeah, I can't remember,
but I think he will play.
I think he's supposed to play. Yeah. Green Bay is picked by 3. It is in Green Bay.
Yeah, he remains limited Thursday in practice, so he'll probably play if he's limited.
Yeah.
But I took Green Bay across the board here. What was the point spread? I'm sorry.
3.
Yeah, I'll still take him across the board.
Okay. I took Houston across the board just for fun.
Yeah, I'm going to take Houston too. That's a tough one. Green Bay is definitely a better team than I thought they would be, and I don't know. I don't think it's cold enough there yet. Yeah, I'll take Houston.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. I might do a Roger and think that through only because 2 receivers out for Houston limits their weapons.
They still got weapons there, though.
But they still have weapons, right? With Joe Mixon returning, and Green Bay's not really good against the run. So,
no, and you still have Diggs and Tank Dell, so there's plenty of firepower there.
Got some stuff, yeah. And I like Stroud, but I do like what Jordan Love's been playing too. Tennessee and Buffalo. I don't know why. Maybe one of you guys can enlighten me, but it said that Will Levis is questionable. Questionable, though, especially with a quarterback, usually means he'll play. Buffalo is picked by 9.5 at home.
Woo.
But Tennessee is, again, they're not.
Yeah, and Tyrone Spears is out for Tennessee, so it's going to be all Pollard running the ball there.
Okay.
But Buffalo hasn't been that impressive either to be giving out 9 points. So I got Buffalo to win, but I'll take the 9.5.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same. I think 9.5 is a little too much. Tennessee does have a solid defense. Say low scoring game there.
All right. I took, just for fun, Buffalo across the board. They're home. I just think they want to start dropping the hammer on people.
And blowout.
I don't think they have enough weapons.
That's probably true. That's the only thing. Well, let's see what Amari Cooper does this week in Buffalo.
They did get a new receiver, yeah.
So
yeah, but he leads the league in the last 5 years in drop passes.
That's true. That's true.
Not that it won't help him, but
right. No. Overall, I think it'll help him. But you're right. I mean, he wouldn't be the guy I would throw to at 4th and 3. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't want him to drop the bait. I don't want him pulling a Saquon Barkley and dropping a wide open out in the flat first down pass, So, yeah, I just think Buffalo may drop the hammer. I don't know if Tennessee's got enough to stay up with them. You're right. Buffalo's offense isn't great, but Tennessee's is almost non-existent. So, So Buffalo's just going to keep getting the ball back, I think. Next games, let me see if there's anybody else out for Buffalo. No. Just and Jacksonville is going to be missing. Well, they're not going to be missing him. Gabe Davis is questionable, but he did participate full in practice, and so did Ingram. So they should be back. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong game. I apologize. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Tennessee, I don't see anything here. So outside of the Will Levis questionable thing. So
that Ray Davis, the backup for Buffalo, he's probably out, and that means Cook will be back starting, but he's banged up still.
He's banged up, right? So it's almost halfway through the season. Everybody's going to start getting banged up a little bit now. So
man, and Davis looked fantastic. Was that last week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and that's something to watch. I mean, if he keeps coming on.
Davis and Tracy, two late round picks. They're rookies performing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you got Cooper, and you still got who is it? Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
Kincaid, Dawson Knox.
Yep. Double-headed tight end there, so it's a pretty good deal.
They have enough. They're just not really explosive, Buffalo, right now.
Right. But that's like Kansas City. They're not explosive, but they're moving the ball down the field, and that's what Buffalo's starting to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 quarterbacks like Mahomes and Allen. You think you got everybody covered. They figure out a way to run for the just enough for the first down.
Well, yeah, that's what you got to do is you got to keep them in the pocket. So if Tennessee could do that.
Yeah, if they can keep Allen in the pocket, they got a shot. But I don't know. I think it's tough. Seattle and Atlanta. The Falcons in Atlanta are picked by 3. I took Atlanta across the board, especially at home. They just keep finding a way to win. Kirk Cousins is, I admit, I thought it was a shaky move when they signed him, but he's proven everybody wrong. I think the guy is. People are going, oh, he's not a Hall of Famer. I'll be honest with you. Look at his numbers and you look at his results. He should be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's played out of his mind in Atlanta, and nobody thought that would happen. And he's got weapons.
Yeah,
Young weapons too.
Yeah,
and
wherever he goes.
Like Bijan is going to play now, it looks like, which he played last week, right?
He played, yeah.
He did.
Did he play? Well, he's questionable, but he's supposed to play. And that's a big weapon for them too. Kyle Pitts has come alive, as well as the receivers for Atlanta. Seattle's okay, but their defense just doesn't hold up. With whoever would say that in Seattle, with Pete Carroll was there, that was always a big plus. So I like Atlanta across the board here.
Yeah, I like the same thing. And going back to Cousins, when Washington, he was really good. Minnesota, wherever he went, he was pretty.
He was consistent and good, yeah. So, and he can throw the deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they throw a little too much because I don't think they use Bijan as much because they don't throw to Bijan as much as they did last year. So I think they need to put that in their system to throw some screen passes to them.
You could be right. That's a good point. Let me ask you a question, Bill. Is Bijan on one of your fantasy teams?
Bijan's on one of my fantasy teams.
I could smell it. I could smell it. Oh, they don't give the ball to Bijan enough. I smelled that one coming.
But seriously, I mean, he had probably averaged
they don't.
5 catches a game last year. This year, I guess Cousins doesn't check down. He just likes throwing it.
Right, he doesn't check down much. He likes, or if he does it at the line, and that's it, like an audible. But he doesn't check down during the play much. What about you, Rod?
I like Atlanta there too across the board. They're starting to establish the run there. So Bijan and Algier.
Algier,
1-2 punch there.
Yeah,
and they're finishing the game like that. I don't know. Atlanta could be dangerous moving forward. I'll take them here.
Yeah, I think they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. I really do. I think they'll get there. Wouldn't surprise me if them and Tampa Bay get there. Everybody's like, oh, the NFC North. And don't count Atlanta and Tampa Bay out. And I think this year, both of them could be tough outs. I mean, let's face it. Tampa Bay did win their first round playoff game last year against Philly and won it big. It wasn't like a lucky thing.
I like that.
Yeah. Billy's not an Eagles fan. No. Even though he's in that general vicinity, not an Eagles fan. He's like, I'm good with that.
I know what it's like, Billy. I live in Kansas, and I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, he's a Cleveland fan, which so I feel bad for you, Rod. We should start a GoFundMe page for you, Rod.
I need something. Yeah,
you need some charity there. Cleveland should have a GoFundMe page to sign a player. They should try to get Joe Flacco back, get a real quarterback.
I need you to pay for my therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe a massage, something.
Yeah. You could get a Deshaun GoFundMe going. Yeah.
We need a GoFundMe to pay back that contract that we got ripped off on. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To repeat some bad jokes. I hope that GoFundMe doesn't rub people the wrong way. Because we got to massage Rodgers' ego for Cleveland taking a beating.
I don't understand some of these teams that give contracts like out to questionable guys. I just don't get it. There's too much risk than there is reward.
Think about it. Jalen Hurts has one. Dak Prescott has one. Russell Wilson had one. That's why Pittsburgh has him. I think they're paying him the league minimum because he's off Denver's guaranteed contract. I mean, at some point, you're like, why? This is why I don't like guaranteed contracts. These guys, they're not holding it up. Now, I'm not saying it's all Deshaun Watson's fault that he's not performing, but Kevin Stefanski is a good offensive coach. So if you can't figure out how to play for him, something's wrong. Yeah. So,
I mean, you saw Flacco. I think Flacco went 5-1. Flacco went 5-1 to end the season last year, and
same team Deshaun had, and they were scrubs, but he got him in the playoffs. So. And let's face it, last time Joe Flacco moved, somebody was driving him. He's got no movement. He drops back in the pocket, and that's it. But the guy delivers. He doesn't.
Yeah, I seen him do a 15-yard run. Was it last game or a game before that? I was like, oh, look at him go.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of starting your stopwatch, you just square. But it wasn't exactly a stopwatch, but he did what he has to do to win.
Yeah, yeah.
You took out your sundial and watched
Yeah,
it.
his sundial. Yeah, with a rewind thing on it. But he does what he has to do to win. Speaking of Cleveland, they're going against Cincinnati this week. It's in Cleveland. Cincinnati is picked by only 5.5. I say only as my own editorial because, sorry, Raj, your boys just don't have it. And
I agree. But Cleveland
win.
has been dominant against Cincinnati in the regular season for the last like 5 years. I'm going to go with Cincinnati as well, but I'll take that 5.5.
Okay. A bold move by Roger, also as a Cleveland fan, but I admire it.
I got the Bengals across the board. Offensively, they look
they're starting to look good.
Really
Yeah.
good. They're really looking good.
They're starting to pick up, and as they say, Cleveland's not. Sorry, Raj.
No, they're going the wrong way. I know. Maybe Chubb comes in there and opens something up,
Chubb
but the offensive line still
play, and hopefully that'll do something. But
if he plays, I think he only gets like a handful of carry. I really don't think.
Yeah, and of course, them dumping Amari Cooper doesn't help.
Correct.
And they did make a bunch of changes.
Did they have Roger? Did they have somebody to fill in for him?
No, now Judy becomes the one. Elijah Moore, not really. There's no one that's going to really step up there.
And he's questionable this week, I think.
And he's only a slot guy. I think he probably gets like 3 to 5 targets a game.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they had like a rookie or something that could step in, but
no one significant.
House because two reasons. One, I think they're playing the old Sixers process game, to scrub away because they want to be probably bad because they want to go play in a domed stadium in the suburbs. And then, of course, that's the year when you'll see them really become good because then they go out and spend. They want people to go to that thing. So I think that's one reason. And they're just dumping people. I mean,
what do you mean by domed stadium in a suburb?
Cleveland's trying to leave the field they have and have a domed stadium built in the suburbs. And supposedly it looks like it's a go.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's news to me.
As of right now, yeah. But it's risky because when you start tanking your team this early, people may lose interest and not give a rat's. And if there's anything to vote for, like a bond issue or anything for it, they're liable to turn it down. So it's a little risky, and I just don't see it, to be honest with you. And it's a shame because Cleveland fans deserve so much better. This was a storied franchise pre-Super Bowl eras, and it's just has been so mismanaged. And it's a shame, really, but you kind of hope someday somebody with a football mind gets in there that can actually run it and everybody keeps hands off and just let them do it. You don't need the owner signing a Deshaun Watson contract, and that's what happened there.
No, yeah, the owner's been a problem. He gets in the way of the GM.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I took Cincinnati across the board as well. With all that being said, I figured that's it. Indy and Miami, it's in Indianapolis. They are picked by 3 points. This is where, guys, Anthony Richardson is coming back to play. But Jonathan Taylor is out for Indianapolis. Of course, Miami Tua is still out as well. Bill, do you know anything about the running back situation there? I know they had
Trey Sermon. He actually practiced in full, so looks like he'll be the starter. I didn't see anything with Taylor being out just yet. But
what about Mostert?
But
Taylor's out.
Taylor's out officially. I got him in fantasy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did too. From NFL Network.
Yeah, so Trey Sermon is going to be the starter, and
okay.
And I think Goodson is the backup. So, but with that being said, Miami's just terrible. I mean, how do you have Tyreek Hill and you don't get him the ball? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, which tells me that him and Tua have a connection because Tua gets him the ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's same here. I don't see Miami moving the ball at all there again. I think Indy will do whatever they can. I'll take Indy -3 across.
Okay. Bill?
Yep, Colts across the board.
Yep.
And another thing with Tua there, he can sling the ball down the field, but he also opens up the running game. And right now it's so predictable.
Yeah.
They're right on it.
Yeah, that's true. Who's Miami's starter right now?
Is it Thompson? I don't know if it is Thompson
well,
anymore. He
it
got
could be
hurt.
Thompson because he is questionable and able to play now.
Well, yeah, he was hurt, and they brought in Huntley, or was it?
Yeah, Huntley.
Huntley, right?
Oh, Huntley,
Huntley.
right? Right. Former Raven.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see real quick.
I think it didn't say who was starting. It did say that what's his name? Thompson. Skylar Thompson was back. The former Kansas.
Yeah, he logs a full practice Wednesday. He should be active, but it appears Huntley will remain Miami's quarterback until Tua comes back.
That kind of stinks. Because in all honesty, Skylar Thompson is a little bit of a running threat, at least, where I don't see Huntley as that running threat.
Yeah.
So that goes back to Roger's point. If you can't open up the run a little bit from the quarterback spot, it's pretty predictable running. So we all took Indy across the board there. Philadelphia and the Giants. Philly is picked in New Jersey. The Giants are the home team, but Philly's still picked by 3.5. Neighbors is supposed to play.
Yeah, he's starting. I mean, yeah, he's back.
Playing. So that's a threat. And Slay is out for Philly, cover guy.
And Goddard.
Goddard is out, and Mailata, the big offensive lineman on Jalen Hurts' blind side, he's out. It's Slay that's out. Well, no, now they have Slay listed as questionable with his knee, so he may play, but Goddard's definitely out. Mailata's definitely out. For the Giants, Singletary was limited in practice, as was Slayton, the receiver. But Neighbors is supposed to play and was a full participant.
So. This game, I'm going to take the Eagles, but I'll take the Giants. I think it could be a field goal game. That's usually how it usually goes, anyway.
Yeah. Well, not to pat myself on the back, but I will. Oh, my arm's limited. Last week, I think I said, and I'll say it again, Philly plays down to the level of their competition. Hence the reason I took Philly to win and Cleveland to cover last week, because they only beat the Browns by 3. They beat them by a field goal. So I don't see them running over the Giants.
Yeah.
But Bill, as my famous saying goes, that being said, it's only 3.5. I'm going to take Philly across the board, even though it's probably going to be only 4 or 5. I think it'll be more than 3.5.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
Across the board?
Across the board, I'll take them at home. At home we have Tracy's been running the ball really nicely, and then you have Neighbors back. He's a game changer, and if Tracy can continue to run the ball, it should open it up for him even more. I think the Giants are finding something. Not wins, but they're getting close.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And getting back to your John, what you were saying, and playing down the level. Well, the Eagles are down at that level now, so I mean,
it is true.
You're right. Yeah, they're playing down to their realistic level.
There you go.
Yeah, they're. I got to admit, they're mediocre at best. They're not good. So there's another contract you're stuck with if you're Philly, and that's Jalen Hurts.
But Philly, unlike Cleveland, still has weapons on offense. They have Brown, Smith, and Saquon. So
better than not having anything. Concern is you have all those weapons, but yet you're not scoring points. So something's got to give there. And I hate to say it because I was rooting for him and everything else, but I think you're right, Bill. We've talked about this before. I just don't think Jalen Hurts. He had one decent year, and that's it. He turns the ball over a lot.
He doesn't read the defense.
Yeah, he doesn't do checkoffs.
If his first guy is covered, then
even some ball, well, a lot of quarterbacks, but even some balls that he completes are behind guys, so they can't run after the catch, stuff like that. So I would like to see him give Kenny Pickett a chance. I mean, that's their backup. But
I don't think you'll see it.
That's not going to happen. No.
I'm not sure that's much of an improvement.
I'm just saying I'd like to see it. But I think they'll beat the Giants by more than 3.5. But you're right, Bill. They are at that. They're not much above that level. They might sneak into the playoffs. I don't think they'll win the division. The only thing that helps them is that Dallas is pitiful. I better not say that. Jerry Jones might get somebody to replace me. Stupid ass. Oh, that's right. Jerry doesn't pay us, so screw him.
He only pays Dak.
Yeah, he only pays Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, credit. He pays those two guys.
CeeDee deserves it.
Yeah, but nobody else can get paid, and that's why the rest of the team, owes. So, all right. So to get it, Roger took the Giants across the board. Billy took the Eagles to win, but the Giants to cover, and I took Philly across the board. So that's a good one. A little difference there. Carolina and Washington. In Washington, the spread is astro-freakonomical. It's not. It's 9.5. Even for a home, I don't know. I took Carolina to cover, Washington to win. I just think 9.5 is a big spread. But Washington is really improving. The only reason, and I'll be honest, if it wasn't the fact that Andy Dalton's quarterbacking for Carolina, I would eat the 9.5. But I think Dalton makes a bigger difference there, and I think they could be closer than 9.5. They're not going to win. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not going to win. I'd almost give up 2 or 3 of my wins if somehow Carolina won that game. But I said almost, by the way. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm taking Washington across the board. I mean, the spread is close, but I think they win by 10 here.
Yeah, it's interesting. 9.5 does seem a little high. So typically, I don't know. When it is like that, the NFL usually gets it, or Vegas gets it right. I'm going to take Washington. They're good. They're not that good, but I take Carolina to cover 9.5.
Okay. Got it.
And then are we expecting Brooks back, the rookie Jonathan Brooks for Carolina?
No.
He's
getting close, but I think he maybe week 8, but I don't even know if that's official.
I think they're leaning more toward week 9. Yeah.
And then Brian Robinson for Washington, has he been cleared? He's going to play, or
I had that down.
He is questionable, but he is expected to play.
He is expected to play, yes. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. Yeah, if he's out, then definitely.
But no, he is questionable. Gimpy knee, but he's questionable, and he was a full participant in practice. Vegas and the Rams in LA. Rams are picked by 7. I'm surprised that one's not at least 9.5. Vegas is just they got to blow that up, I think.
Yeah, I think they need a new coach.
Yeah, I like Antonio Pierce, but not as a head coach. Maybe a good defensive coach, but not as a head coach. Their offense can't keep up. O'Connell's not a good quarterback. Minshew was okay, but he had one bad game and they yanked him. Not even a full game, a bad half. Let's yank him. And then they bring in me, basically, at quarterback.
And did I hear you say earlier that Cooper Kupp might be
for the Rams? Cooper Kupp is questionable. He may play.
Last I looked, he is questionable. Let me see.
Yeah, I looked about half hour before we came on. So on the NFL website, which I do kind of like how they break down injuries. They break them down by the game instead of the alphabetical teams.
I guess his status is going to be closer to game time. McVay said so.
Yeah,
I don't think they need him in this game. So I would probably sit him.
Well, that's the other part is they may figure we should win this game without him, Or they may suit him up, have him out there in the beginning, and when they start to take control, say, okay, he's done. I took the Rams across the board. I just don't.
Yeah, I did the same.
Okay, because
I do as well. It's probably going to end up at 7, but I'll take it.
Okay, so we all take the Rams across the board.
I do like the Raiders, the tight end rookie Brock Bauer.
I do like him. Yes,
but
you're absolutely right.
They're going to probably start double teaming him since
they're going to. Yeah, I was just going to say, or he's going to be walking into 2-man zones, and back up and back will be covered, even if he's in between them. It's going to be hard. This game is interesting, and not because I'm just a Chiefs fan, but this game is interesting. San Francisco hosts the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Niners are picked by 2. Still no Christian McCaffrey. He's out. This is the game we were talking about, I think, a little bit off camera. Juwan Jennings is out, but Ricky Pearsall, who was the number 1 draft pick for the Niners, is questionable, but now they're saying he will play. And remember, I don't know if you folks remember, we do, that Pearsall was actually shot. Roger has more details, but he's coming back from being shot in the chest. This will be his very first game action. How did the shooting happen, Roger?
So I heard he was at a signing at a bookstore, and on the way out, someone noticed some jewelry on him. They followed him out, tried to rob him at gunpoint, and he struggled, got shot.
Yeah.
Thank goodness he's all right, and he's gonna be playing football again. So you always like to hear that.
Yeah.
You never like to hear anyone get shot.
First, it was life-threatening, but he's fought back from that, and give him a lot of credit and a lot of heart, literally and figuratively, obviously. But give him credit for that. So for the Niners, he is out or he's playing. I'm sorry. Juwan Jennings is out, so obviously he'll be replacing Jennings' spot. For Kansas City, Juju Schuster is questionable with a hamstring. Now they had Pacheco listed to return week 7. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's still going to be out for at least a week, maybe 2. I think they were hoping because of the bye. Also because of the bye, Andy Reid lifetime is like 14-4 or 14-5 against the bye. You give Andy Reid extra time to study a team, and that's trouble. So I went with the Chiefs across the board.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. But I don't always, Bill. You know that. There are times I don't. I mean, sometimes I'll go with them to win, but not cover. But this is only 2. I think the Niners are still going to miss McCaffrey.
Is Mason starting for the 49ers?
Mason's off the report, and he's going to start.
And he's going to start, yeah. But I think
and Clyde Hilaire is going to be suited up and ready to go for Chiefs.
For the Chiefs. And Kareem Hunt's played well. So you do now have a 1-2 at least of Hilaire and Hunt. It's not Pacheco and anybody else, but the good part is Pacheco.
Sounds like the kids are having a concert in my yard.
Yeah, I was just gonna say somebody's giving us a little background music.
Let me go.
How come I don't hear the Roger, got to teach them a sports song if they're going to play behind.
They're playing London Bridges.
You got to teach them the ESPN song.
I'll work on that for next week.
Yeah, work on that or the NFL theme. Dun, 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 dun. We have a theme. I haven't played it at all this season at all. But we do actually have a theme. I may try and play it next week or something. But
let's do it.
But I got the 49ers across the board here. I just like the home team and probably the healthiest out of the 2 teams.
Okay. Roger?
I'm going to take the 49ers across the board as well. They're a good team. Kansas City, Let's see what this offense really looks like against a competent defense. I think they'll struggle. I think they'll get to Mahomes, slow them down, and then when the 49ers are clicking on offense, they can be really exciting.
That's well, exciting to you.
Yeah, well,
This week,
to me.
not that exciting. Well, it could be exciting, just in a negative way. My pacemaker may be going nuts this week.
And Ayuk had a nice bounce back game last week. It's nice to see him coming back to full form.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah. Not this week, it's not. I'd like to see him go back to quarter form.
We'll see.
Or give him chloroform. That would be good. A different kind of a form. But no, you're right. If Debo and Ayuk are there, that's a couple of big weapons there. The Watson kid has run well. And Kittle, though he's a little banged up, is still one of the best tight ends. I would take a 75 to 80% Kittle over most, not all.
I think Kittle's been the best tight end in the league this year so far.
Well, yeah, okay. Until last
What's the other argument?
Oh, the other argument is Kelsey is Kelsey. I mean,
the first 4 weeks.
I don't think I got to argue much. There are a couple of really good tight ends I do like. I like Kyle Pitts for Atlanta. I like Bowers for the Raiders. I do like he just left my mind. Well, I guess he wasn't there. Noah Likely for the Ravens and Mark Andrews, both dual-headed tight end. Goddard for Philly, who's out.
Yeah, he's been good. And then Buffalo, Kincaid.
And who else is it? What's his name?
Trey McBride from the Cardinals.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So you have some really good young tight ends coming out there. My arguments and Laporta for Detroit.
Yes.
I like him. So there's some good tight ends out there. But Kelsey, I think Kelsey leads the pack with Kittle. I think those two guys are the best. I really do. That being said, we'll move on to the Jets and Pittsburgh Sunday night. This game is going to be interesting. The Jets are picked, so Pittsburgh's a home dog here by 1.5. Like how impressed that was, Bill. A home dog. I can tell you, I never say. Sometimes I'll go, well, they're at home, but most of the time it's like, home dog. Oh.
Yeah, this one here, I think this is a setup game for the bookies.
I almost think so. Yeah,
I think so. I'm going to take the Jets across the board.
I did. I don't think Russell Wilson is ever going to regain any kind of decent form. I think they're in trouble starting him, to be honest with you. They haven't 100% said it yet, but it's like all indications are he'll be starting. And Fields now is saying, well, I didn't really play well enough. Oh, quit your whining. You're a freaking football player. Come on, be tough. Yeah. I don't know if I proved that I'm a star. You're 4-2 for a team that has limited offense. Well. I think he did play great. I think he did as well as he could do with what he has. He has one receiver who, of course, obviously gets double covered. He's got a decent tight end at Freiermuth, though he didn't make our top 10 impromptu list we just had. He is pretty
honorable mention.
Najee Harris is supposed to play. There was some speculation, but he's fine. He's going to play.
You know what I find with Pittsburgh, and I don't know if you guys will agree. I think Tomlin I think he needs to go.
Yeah, I think they're worried about the PR problem because he's never finished below 500. He's always been above 500. So I think Pittsburgh. And they always stick with their coach almost till the end of when the coach says he's got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, this is like only their third coach in like the last 30 or 40 years, you know. I mean, I remember Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I only remember Cowher and Tomlin. That's my entire lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, right before Cowher, Chuck Noll took him to all the Super Bowls.
And it's not a knock on him personally. It's just think they're so long. Yeah, I mean, you're above 500, but that's just about it, you know.
What's the old story? At some point, they need a new voice.
Yeah.
Not that you're coaching badly. It's sometimes they need, but Tomlin is pretty good I love watching his press conferences because he'll just tell you. I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I tend to probably agree with you, except the minute you do that, you're probably starting over. And if you're Pittsburgh, you still keep hanging around the playoffs a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
And they're
anything
being
can
kept
happen.
alive by their defense. It's pretty much been all defense since Roethlisberger retired.
Yep.
Even
And
the
that's
last
a
2 years of
Pittsburgh staple.
Roethlisberger.
Yep. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, they've been
Pittsburgh staple.
stagnant. Just stagnant on offense. Something's got to change. Maybe a new offensive coordinator. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you could go that route. New offense
Well,
coordinator.
they do have Arthur Smith, who is a new offensive coordinator, the former Atlanta coach, and
That might
was
be
a
part
good
of the
OC
problem there.
before. I think. Well, I don't know if that's part of the problem. I think they just don't have the horses. I just think they don't have the players. I mean, you got to have a better quarterback. You probably need at least another decent receiver.
For sure.
If not two. So, I mean, I think they just don't have the horses. Which then does that go to the coach? He's doing the best with what he's got, maybe, So, I'm not a overly big Russell Wilson fan. I think and like you said, Bill, it almost smells like a setup, doesn't it? Devontae Adams will probably have 100 yards and at least one touchdown. And, Wilson will probably have a touchdown because everybody will be covering Devontae. So, Aaron Rodgers.
If anything, it should be an even game. I don't think,
Rodgers will look like the king of New York again,
which I can't stand. I'm not a Rodgers fan either. So
from a personal standpoint, I'm not. I don't like what he did with COVID. Don't lie about it. You either got it or you didn't. I don't care which way you went. That's your personal. But don't bullshit people. Well, I did get some kind of inoculation. Yeah, what'd you do? Bleach in your arm? Did you get the freaking vaccine or not? Either way is fine, but take a stand.
Yes.
Get the smarmy, cocky guy, which I guess quarterbacks have to be to some extent, but he is off the field as well, and he's just a jerk, So, but you can't. He's not talented.
I kind of like him. I like him personally. I'm starting to like him.
Are you?
Something, yeah. I don't know. I never liked him much in Green Bay, but I don't know.
Well, that part's true. And I'll tell you why. I don't think he fit in Green Bay personally. He was there for a lot of years, but as long as you win, you're okay in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Problem is when you stop winning or you keep overly whining, and his was whining over winning, and he was done.
And he blames everybody else.
His way out of Green Bay.
Yeah, he blames the refs every chance he gets.
Well, the refs, the receivers, it's like he blames everybody.
Well, like last week, great. He blamed his receiver supposedly for not running the right route. You don't roll your teammates under the bus, I mean, if anything, you go over and talk to him private. Hey, listen, you should have. If he was right. Now, Mike Williams, to his credit, didn't say anything, didn't respond, just let it go. I give that a lot of credit because a lot of guys would have been like, screw this guy. And he could have came out and replied and went, if you didn't underthrow the ball by 5 yards, it wouldn't have got picked off. I wouldn't have slipped, planted my foot, come back because you screwed up your throw.
Yeah.
And if you guys look at the play, he had Hall 10 yards upfield. He needed 16 yards, but it was third down, so he had another down to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Hall would have ran for another 10 or 15 easy and
wide open. Yeah.
Nobody was near him, and it's right in Rodgers' eyesight. It's like right here. I could have made that throw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have needed an extra pulse because I got no arm. I probably could have thrown it left-handed and got it there. I mean, he was wide open. I mean,
it was.
I haven't seen a girl wide open like that since my ex-wife. But I mean, oh man, I shouldn't have said it. True, but I shouldn't have said it.
It's a kid's show. It's a kid's show, John.
No, it's not. And when I put it on YouTube, I click no minors.
I thought we were trying to sell the. I thought you were trying to sell the podcast.
No minors, and then you guys make the call. I don't. Right. I warned you. I guess maybe at the beginning of the show, I should put on there. John may say inappropriate and vulgar things at the show. Remember, John probably did say a minute because it's bad. But I'm like, he was wide open.
Yeah, he was.
And that, to me, that may have cost them the game. But they got lucky, and
You're not wrong.
No.
I still haven't picked it. I'm going to go with the Jets. The Jets, this is a must-win for them. If they don't start piling up some wins here soon, it's going to be over quick. And
because I think if they don't win the division, it'll be awful tough if they don't get start getting some wins to make a wild card. Because
Yeah.
they got to face Buffalo again. They're going to have to face Miami, and by then Tua will be back.
And then the Adams factor comes in, because if they're not winning, then
he's going to pout and whine.
He's going to pout and start sitting,
and Rodgers will too. They'll probably whine together, and next year try to in Cleveland. How would you feel about that, Rod?
I'll take it. And then another thing, we'll see how Adams opens up Garrett Wilson here, or is that going to become a problem? Give me the ball. Give me the ball. It could go either way.
Yeah,
it could be great.
I could see that. Right. I could see that being a big problem.
That could be a
Wilson should be getting the ball. I mean,
yeah. And they fed him well last Saturday, Sunday night.
Sunday night.
I want to see more of that.
Yep. And he's a threat every time. All right, Bill, who you got?
I got the Jets across the board.
Okay. Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Baltimore to me is I have to admit, Bill, I know you're not thrilled with him, but I think Lamar Jackson is playing out of his mind right now. He's got some weapons. Baltimore's defense is good enough. They're not the great Baltimore defense that we used to see, but they're outscoring people. I don't know if Tampa Bay has the horses to keep up. And the key for Baltimore is physical. They will run Derrick Henry, and they will run him. And they finally, once that first 2 or 3 games of the season got over, and they started realizing, we signed this guy, let's use him. They've been a completely different team.
Yeah, and they got a lot more weapons now. I mean, Flowers and even Bateman's having a good year, and they're both tight ends, and like you said, Derrick Henry. I like ball here across the board.
Okay, and I did that too as well. And Mike Evans, it doesn't say he was injured. It doesn't say he's doubtful or anything, but it did say he did not practice.
So he did get injured at the, I think right before halftime. I have him in fantasy, and I don't know what the injury was. Was it a concussion? Was it something? He went down.
I think it was a concussion. You may be right, but he is supposed to play. At least that's what the NFL Network said this morning. But it did say he did not practice.
Yeah.
So
I like Baltimore as well.
At least questionable.
He's expected to play Monday.
Okay, that's true. It's Monday night too, so you got the extended extra day.
It was a hamstring.
A hamstring?
Yeah, a strain.
Okay. All right.
But he's still expected to play Monday.
Okay.
But we don't know if he'll be limited.
Okay. I took Baltimore across the board as well, only because it's 3.5. If it was 5 or 6, I might have held on to Tampa Bay, but 3.5, I think they'll win by more than 3.5.
I'm going to take Baltimore, but I'll take Tampa to cover.
Okay.
3.5 at home. I'll take that with but yeah, no, Baltimore is definitely a good team. And then you said Bateman and Flowers, but Aguilar and Nelson Aguilar seems to get open whenever they need them. Andrews likely, yeah, and then you have the lead at the end. Yeah, if they have a lead at the end, they're just gonna running. Yep.
You get Jackson running, Henry running, all those other weapons. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Tampa.
Baltimore might be the team to beat right now. I wouldn't want to play them if I was the Chiefs. I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs.
I don't care who you are. I wouldn't want to play them. It's going to be a physical game. Whoever plays them. I mean, and I like that. That's old time football. That's the way it should be.
And I said that when they got Derrick Henry, I thought Baltimore's going to be the team to beat.
Yeah, and now it's starting to look like that. I mean, let's face it. Everybody's like, well, they lost to the Chiefs. They should have won that game.
They lost by an inch on the road.
Yep. So, I mean, and I think if they played right now, I think Baltimore would win. And I don't care where they play.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kansas City's 5-0, right? But still, not any routes, really. I think one game was a little bit of a pull away in the end, but it's not the most impressive 5-0 I've seen. It's not like Minnesota's 5-0, which has really been good.
Surprisingly good.
Yes, that is true. Surprisingly good. I think Sam Darnold's making a name for himself. I really do. I know they got J.J. McCarthy. They drafted him to be the future, But I think you got to let this play out with Sam Darnold. I mean, because it's not like a couple other ones that have been close. He's balling. I mean, he's doing what he's got to do to ball, and he's not an overly mobile guy. I mean, he's a pocket passer.
Yeah, he's definitely started. He's definitely started the rest of the season. It's a matter of what they, and I think it's.
Yeah, I don't care if McCarthy gets healthy halfway through.
No, McCarthy's out for the year.
Okay, well then, yeah, you got to let this. Now, I don't know if Darnold signed on just a 1-year deal. I think he is. If he is, sure, then Minnesota's got a decision to make, because if he keeps playing like this the rest of the season, I can't see how you could just let him go. Because if you let him go, somebody's going to grab him, and
I give him another 1-year deal and let McCarthy sit again.
Let McCarthy rest up and learn from Darnold. And if Darnold has another great year, you either do the same thing, or you tag him, or sign him and trade him to somebody that needs a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, this does kind of show that you need somebody with a good offensive mind behind you as a coordinator or a coach, because he had, 5 coordinators in his first 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to learn 5 offenses in his first 4 years of trying to play football. I mean,
it also doesn't hurt having Justin Jefferson to throw to.
That's true. That is true. But they don't have. I mean, Justin Jefferson's great. Probably the best receiver in the game right now. But do they have a lot of other really good weapons?
Not much. Addison's solid.
Yeah, Addison's solid, and they did have they got another rookie receiver. I can't think of his name.
Right now. I can't either, but I know who you're talking about. Addison.
And TJ Hawkinson should be back. Is that this week or next week?
Hawkinson should be back. Yep.
It's next week.
And that's going to be a difference maker. He's one of the top tight ends there.
So, I mean, I think Darnold's been severely underrated. And I hope he gets a shot to either stay there or go somewhere where he can excel.
Oh, he'll get paid if he keeps this up. It'll be a $25 to $30 million 1-year deal.
Get paid, and he should. But that being said, we'll get on track with our last game of the week. It's another Monday night game. There's 2 Mondays. This one ticks me off because it's only available on ESPN Plus. I went on one of my 15-minute tirade shows about this, about the NFL making things exclusive for, So if you're Joe Blow and you only get broadcast TV, you can't afford to probably watch half of the games that you'd want to watch. It's ridiculous.
That's the only way to pay the Sean Watson $250 million guaranteed.
That's true. Yeah, Cleveland should have their own channel to,
at least put it on all the same channel, so you only have to get one subscription.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, December, Netflix is going to have 2 games. One of them's a Chiefs game.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, because we've had Peacock,
Amazon. Last year. Yep, Amazon. You got every Thursday night.
Disney Plus Network.
Yep, NFL Network, ESPN Monday night. So I mean,
and we pay for the Sunday ticket, and I don't get those exclusive games, even with paying for Sunday ticket.
See, that's the same thing with MLB. Crazy. I have MLB Network. I can't watch a Royals game on that. Now, I'm not an overly big Royals game, but I'm interested in them and have been since I moved here. I mean, I'm still a diehard Red Sox and Phillies fan. All right, I admit it. But I kind of like the Royals. I'd kind of like to watch, but I can't even watch them play the Phillies. I can't even watch them play the Red Sox.
That's
broadcast on those Philly and Red Sox channels. It doesn't matter. It's blacked out. And I'm like, that's bullshit. If you're paying for a streaming service, there should be every MLB game. NFL
that is ridiculous.
Does the same thing. Even with NFL Sunday Ticket, there's certain games you can't get because they go to Netflix or Amazon or Peacock or ESPN2. Now I have YouTube TV that lets me get the same thing as you would get with cable, 2 or 3 games, and then I still have to. Now I'm lucky because ESPN's included in that. So I can watch that. I have Peacock, but I had it before. But I just it's wrong because a lot of people can't afford it, but they don't care.
I'll give you guys. I do have a streaming app called Dofu Stream, and you could watch any MLB, NFL game on there. They even have the Red Zone on there.
Do you know how to spell that, Bill?
DOFU stream. And the app looks like this. I don't think it's going to come up here. Oh well, but I could text it to you.
All right, yeah, if you can, that'd be great. So the last game is Chargers at Arizona. They're picking the Chargers by 2. I took the Chargers across the board. I don't care if Jim Harbaugh has another heart arrhythmia. I don't know how much he's needed. I mean, what's his name's playing decent? And
Darnold, not Darnold,
no.
Herbert.
The quarterback. No, yeah, Herbert's playing really well. Murray is playing okay. He is getting Harrison back this week. So
he's playing okay. I thought he'd be one of the top quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, he's shown a little bit of improvement, but not the improvement I think everybody was hoping for.
And I think we can say the Chargers are sneaky good. We saw what they did at Denver last week. That was a shock to me.
I like the Chargers. I think within the next year or so, they're going to give the Chiefs a run for their money in that division. I really do.
And Harbaugh is going to make that a more of a running team. I mean, the defense is going to be. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, you're okay. Go ahead.
That's it. I said everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everywhere. If you look at Harbaugh's record, everywhere he went, and he took bad teams, and he's made them all champions. He's made them all winners.
Oh yeah, Stanford. I mean, he made Stanford Pac-12 champions out of nowhere.
Yeah. Michigan. I mean, he won the national title with Michigan and Big Ten titles. San Francisco got them to the Super Bowl, and they were kind of scrubs when he took them over. And within a couple of years, he was playing Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Yeah. He's a hell of a coach. He's kind of a cool character to kind of listen to and watch because he didn't, But I think he's a great coach, and I think they're coming up already. I think they'll handle Arizona without a problem.
Yeah, he'll do whatever it takes to win, even if he has to cheat to beat Ohio State. So yeah,
whatever it takes, baby. Whatever it takes. You Ohio fan, you're not Ohio Red, are you?
Ohio State, baby, Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, I'm the only one who picked Oregon last week.
You did.
Oregon, I think.
Yes.
Didn't you pick Oregon? Yeah.
Yes. I said I was going against you two guys.
Oh, maybe you did. I thought I picked Oregon. I knew it was going to be close, but yeah, I thought I picked. I may have picked Ohio State thinking it was just too much hype, but
Oregon played really well at Ohio State.
Ryan Day, great winning record, but Roger, you're an Ohio State boy. What do you think? Is he going to keep his job, or you think he's gone?
He needs to. If he doesn't win the championship, I think he needs to go.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
But can't win the big games.
No, if he doesn't win, I'm saying
I don't think he's ever beaten Michigan. Now he might this year because Michigan's not great, but I don't think he's ever beaten Michigan.
Think he might have beat him the first year before Harbaugh got there.
When he had somebody else's recruits before Harbaugh got there, right?
What did they drop down to? What rank are they now?
Oh, Ohio State only dropped to 4. They went from 2 to 4. Oh, okay. It was on the road. I mean, I really don't think that game really mattered. It's kind of
and they only lost by what? A field goal? Maybe even
by
less?
1.
Yeah, they lost by 1. It was a last
by 2. They lost by 2.
Yeah, last minute field goal. So, it's
well, they had a chance to kick a field goal, but he ran and then ran the clock out.
And the clock ran out, yeah. Well, that was the deal where Oregon's head coach on purpose sent 12 guys out on the field.
That was smart.
It runs off time off the clock.
Huh.
And so they lost like 4 or 5 seconds off the clock, did Ohio State, even though they got the penalty. But it still didn't make them close enough. And then the ex-Kansas State quarterback, Will Howard, didn't get enough yards, didn't get down in time. And they were in range to at least try the field goal to win it. But he didn't get down in time and the clock ran out.
Yeah, it would have been like a 42-yarder.
Now NCAA has changed the rule. Did you see it already?
Oh, they already did. No, I didn't see that.
They already did. You can't do that anymore. If you do it, you'll get the flag still, and the team has the option, and what team wouldn't take it in that situation, to put that time back on the clock. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, but how do you change the rules in the middle of the season?
In the middle of the season. I mean, that sucks. Yeah. I hate that. In the middle of it. Don't get me wrong. If you see it's a problem, change it at the end of the season. But yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
But
I'm going to take Arizona here in the desert, the home dog.
The home dog. Bill goes with the home dog.
All right.
What about you, Raj? I'm taking the Chargers across the board.
I'm taking the Chargers as well. I missed on them last week at Denver. I think it's kind of the similar situation. Not too far of a travel there. Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Gotcha.
Across.
All right. So we do have some differences. That's cool. It's going to be a lot of fun this week. Should be some close games. There's a couple other sports news to talk about here from the cheap seats. Baseball, we take a look. Rogers Cleveland Indians won a big game the other night with Big Christmas hitting that home run to tie it, a 2-run shot in the ninth. And of course, so was it Day won it with a home run solo shot in the bottom of the 10th, beating the Yankees, so they didn't get skunked. But the Yankees do lead the series now 3-1.
Did you watch the game last night? They came back, made it exciting, and then Clase, their star closer, has been getting shelled.
He got shelled, and what was it? Soto and Stanton went back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you pitching to Stan? First base is open. The guy's been
that was the other part.
Apart.
Why are you pitching to him? First base is
pulling
open.
My hair out.
I mean, the guy's built like the Empire State Building. You know, all he's got to do is hit a fly ball and it's going to leave.
Yeah.
Walk the freaking guy. I mean, you know, and they didn't do it. So I kind of hope for Cleveland they win tonight, but either way, it goes back to New York for 2. They don't have David Ortiz.
I hate the Yankees, so
I hate the Yankees. I've always hated them.
Thank you.
But yeah, they don't have David Ortiz in the clutch. And who does really?
Oh, yeah. I thought last night was must win for Cleveland, and they didn't get it done.
Would have tied the series. They would have had a shot.
Yeah.
Especially if they could have tied the series last night, win today, then you only got one of 2 in New York. So yeah, last night was a big game, and that's a shame. But Yankees earned it. So
yeah,
gotta give it to them. They're up 3-1. Game 5 is tonight in Cleveland. We're not looking for picks on it, guys. We're just giving out the news here at this point. Mets and Dodgers. Mets last night thumped them, doubled them up, 12-6. Dodgers still lead the series, 3-2, and it goes back to LA Sunday for game 6. And then obviously Monday night would be game 7. I believe Monday night. They may skip Monday night so they don't fight with NFL football and have game 7 Tuesday. I don't know for sure. Bill's going to check that for us, our research department. Bill is from the Cheap Seats research department here.
They are scheduled for Monday.
Are they scheduled for Monday if there's a game 7? Okay.
Yeah, both games are scheduled for Monday if they get that far.
All right, so they would be fighting not the ESPN Plus game. They would be fighting the Baltimore-Tampa Bay game for ratings. And that would be a game 7 of the World Series. So that would be interesting to see who people
Division series.
Yeah.
Division, yes.
The good thing about YouTube TV is I'll be able to watch both of them at the same time. It does have multi-view, so they'll have them both on. Oh, no, they won't. Yeah, they will. ESPN. You're right. I'm right. Okay. I was like, no, they won't. It's a prime. Oh, yeah. See, I get so confused now. Where is the freaking football game? It could be one of a dozen places. Other sports news, the NBA is getting ready to start up. There's a couple of injuries already. Kawhi Leonard, what a surprise for the Clippers, will not open the season. He's hurt. Joel Embiid has already said that he's really would rather not play back, doesn't want to play back-to-backs. They found out Philadelphia is scheduled for 15 of them. One of them would be a Boston and then Knicks back-to-back, 2 pretty good teams. And the guy doesn't want to play back. But the Sixers are supposedly on board with that because of the fatigue he's had. If they're the only games he sits out, it would be only 15 games. So, but he's so injury prone. I mean, he's a great player, but he's so injury prone.
And
not as bad as Kawhi Leonard, but
yeah, their backup Drummond though, he's been looking good in preseason.
I was going to say Drummond is nothing to sneeze at. He's a pretty good center, so that might help them a lot. It should. And Paul George for the Sixers hyperextended his knee, if I'm right, Bill. But I think he's scheduled to play. I think They stopped him playing preseason, just precautionary. Hyperextended his knee in a preseason game. I don't think there's any other severe injury. Say Porzingis should be back for Boston. That'll be good for them. So NBA is getting ready to start up. That should be somewhat interesting. NHL has started.
Should we make a pick for the NBA right here? A preseason pick for the championship?
Do we want to, or do we want to wait a little bit?
I think we should. It'd be fun.
We could throw out a name.
Well, let me get to something to transcribe this on. All right, here we go. NBA pick.
Man, I think it's going to be hard to beat Boston because they have a good squad, but I'm trying to think. Denver.
You know who's going to be tough? And I keep watching and I'm listening to other people. OKC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of young talent there.
Oklahoma City. Now they did I was going to say they did just lose their center for a while. Hoffenstein. He's going to be out, I think 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, he's out 5 to 6 weeks, they said.
5 to 6 weeks, they said. And he's a big play, but they've got a lot of talent on that team, and they could more to make up for it. So, yeah, that could be interesting. I do like OKC. Everybody thinks it's a big story. LeBron starting with Bronny. Who cares? For you, it means you hung around a long time.
Yeah,
that's all it means.
Yeah,
good for you. I know, Roger, you probably like him because he helped bring a championship to Cleveland. But...
No, I don't care much for him.
Okay, then I don't.
He left us twice.
Yep, exactly. It wins a championship and then leaves. So I mean,
I'm not too forgiving. Yeah. So I looked at the odds here. I'll give it to everyone. Boston's the favorite, plus 310. OKC plus 650. Knicks plus 800. Nuggets plus 950. I'm gonna go Denver. I think that wasn't a fluke, even though they blew it last year in the playoffs. I think they still have the best player.
Oh, Jokic is,
or one of the best players.
Jokic is tremendous. I think.
Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
And then Timberwolves. Remember how good they were looking to start the playoffs, and
they made that big trade with the Knicks. Now remember where they got Randall, and who else was it? And they traded Karl-Anthony Towns to New York.
DiVincenzo,
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo, yeah.
Big trade
Philadelphia plus 1,000, so they're number 5 in the odds on.
They're looking at the fact that they signed Paul George, kept Embiid. Finally let Tobias Harris go, who never lived up to his contract. So
Lakers 30-1, probably LeBron. I think LeBron's last year.
Yeah, now that he's playing with his boy, it's probably his last year. Unless for some reason they advance to the playoffs so close that he thinks one more year we might win it. And that might be the only thing that keeps him playing his pride. He'd like to win one with the Lakers because he's won with every team he's played for.
Yeah,
like Cleveland, Miami. So now it's this one.
Well, he's won with the Lakers as well.
Huh? Yeah, that's right.
He won with the
Lakers. So yeah, he won the COVID year.
COVID year, yeah, which shouldn't really count, but whatever.
No, I know. It was one stadium for everybody, no home crowd. Yeah. Kiss off, get out. I'll be honest, that was one of the few years I don't think I even cared about the NBA. I tried to watch a game or two, and it just it's like
that was hard.
I couldn't do it. All right, so Rogers got Denver. Bill, any idea preliminary wise?
I think it's going to be Denver, Boston, and I think Boston gets them. Even though I wouldn't mind, with like you said, the trade with New York and Minnesota, I would like to see that final. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, wouldn't that be interesting? New York and Minnesota, yeah, that would be interesting because that would actually tell you that the trade worked for both teams, no matter what happened in that series. Both teams came out. I think New York's going to be tough now. But I think Minnesota is actually going to improve because Randall they needed more physicality.
Correct.
I think Randall brings that to them.
Yeah, because Towns is playing out in the perimeter too much, right? You can't have a big guy out there.
Big guy, but he plays out in the perimeter. Yeah, somebody should take him and he's got Tibbs coaching, right, in New York still? right?
I
Thibodeau?
think, yeah.
Yeah. Tibbs may have him down below, hopefully, because for his sake and the Knicks' sake. Because Tibbs is hard-nosed basketball, man, old school. Big guy, he should be playing underneath. So it's tough, but I do like OKC.
Wow. Good pick.
Yeah,
Not a bad pick.
I do like them. Don't get me wrong. My fear is they may not quite have enough experience if they get to the finals and they face, like Bill says, they face Boston.
Yeah, I agree with Bill. I think it's going to be hard for anyone to beat Boston outside of maybe the Knicks, but I think the Boston has their number.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, in the East, you take a look, and I think it's going to be Boston, New York, Philly, 1, 2, 3. At least that's my take on it. In the West, you got Denver. I think you got OKC, and now Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Well,
Minnesota finished first in the regular season last year, didn't they?
Yes, I think they did.
Yeah.
But I think this actually helps them. I really do. I think they need more physicality. And the other thing to keep an eye on, just to be interested in, to me, is first off the Warriors, but secondly, how does Klay Thompson fit in Dallas? Right, it's Dallas he went to.
Yeah, Dallas could be. I mean,
Dallas could be a playoff team, which would be an improvement over last year. But I don't think they're a threat for the title. I think they're a player or two away still. But it'll be interesting to see if Klay can make a difference shooting wise for them. Hasn't had a great preseason shooting, but it's preseason. I necessarily pay too much attention to that. I think that'll be interesting. But to me, what's more interesting than all that NBA stuff is WNBA finals tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow. I had it written down here. Sunday, yes, in New York. Game 5, which is the deciding game. It's like a game 7. Great series. It has been a great series to watch. I haven't watched every minute, but every minute that I have watched has been really exciting. The teams are closely battled. New York's never won a title. Minnesota has won 2. Sabrina Ionescu the other night, when she hit that shot from the logo to win the game. I mean, that's clutch. You can't get more clutch than that from the logo, for crying out loud, which is about a 30, 35 footer to win the game. A 3, bang.
Wow.
I mean, I was waiting for where was Mike Breen, because that was an NBA bang shot. It should have been called. Shoots, fires. I mean, I could have. It was or what was the old one, Bill? He tickled the twine.
Yeah.
Nothing but Dan Patrick. Nothing but net. She tickled the twine.
Yeah, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. I mean, that was a great shot, and she plays well. I think it's going to be a tough game. They get physical. If you see one team get a lead, it doesn't mean anything. The other team has come back in the end every game. It's been a great series to watch. I'll be honest, I'm rooting for New York, which is rare for me to root for a New York team. I don't root for New York.
Wow.
It's just is. I mean, and I like New York. I've been there and I've done a lot of stand-up comedy stuff there. And every time I've went to the city, it's been great. I've never had a problem. I've always had a good time. I mingle with the people. Chinatown was great. I had some fun on the street in Chinatown, and there was a guy with me. He said, "Oh, I should have had my camera on you, my phone on you," because I was just screwing. If people in New York screwed with somebody, I screwed with them back. Like jumped in, and one guy was trying to almost accost this mother-daughter, and I just, hey, you didn't buy the Rolex with 2 L's in it, did you? And just blasting him, this guy sells Rolexes with 2 X's. I don't think it's real, shit like that. I mean, I just hammered people on the street, and it was a lot of fun. That being said, for some reason, I can't stand their sports. I can't root for their sports teams. I just no, I can't do it.
Nope.
Hard. But in
It's
this
called the
case,
evil empire for a reason.
yeah, it is. It is. But in this case, I do like the Liberty. And I am rooting for them. And it's nothing against Minnesota, but for some reason, the last few seasons I've rooted for the Liberty. Maybe because there's no Philly team. I don't know.
Yeah. How about you, Billy? Have you been watching the WNBA?
I have not.
Me neither. I think I'm going to start watching it once they let the men in there. And that's going to make it
yeah. Is it really
more
that like the wimpy National Basketball Association?
bring in the boys.
Bringing the boys. Bringing the boys that couldn't make the NBA.
I was following.
Then open the NBA up to the women, because I'll tell you what.
It is open to the women.
Play in
The
the
NBA is wide open. No, she couldn't.
I think she could.
Nope. I love her, but I don't think.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure she could be an assist leader in the NBA, but a shooter is a shooter. If she can get open off a pick and roll, she can still bomb threes. And so could Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, she almost beat Steph Curry in the 3-point contest. I mean, at the All-Star game. I mean, there are a couple of people that can play. A lot, no.
John, you're really drinking the WNBA Kool-Aid, huh?
I am. And Billy, I'll tell you, a few years ago, I wasn't. I really, I was.
I just started following this year with Caitlin Clark, and I tell you what, she is phenomenal, and
I think she could shoot in the NBA.
She took the league by storm. She really did. Yeah,
and she can pass.
Oh yeah,
she can throw some passes, and that's what a lot of people didn't give her credit for. But she does turn the ball over.
For her to go to NBA, I can't agree with you, Johnny.
Okay,
no, John, I don't think she would start on a Division I college basketball team.
Oh, Roger, vicious. That hurts.
I mean, Billy, what do you think? They're longer, faster, tougher, just naturally.
But I think a shooter's a shooter.
I think Division I you could, but not the NBA.
Really? You think she would start Division I?
Oh, I didn't say start.
Well, it depends on what team, of course. I mean,
yeah,
true. But I didn't say start. But I did say play.
I think she could play. I think she could play.
Yeah,
one of the teams.
She could definitely shoot. Nothing against that, but she would be. They'd put someone on her that she wouldn't get the ball.
Well, I mean, if you get physical with her, sure. With any female, you get physical with her. You're bigger. You're stronger. But my thing is, if she gets off a pick and roll, she gets an open spot. Same with Sabrina Ionescu. They can hit from the logo, man.
But a man's lateral movement is so much quicker than a woman. So even though she gets that, they're right there.
Well, yeah, and you're just.
Here's the thing: we're never going to find
wingspan alone. Yeah,
wingspans.
I'm starting to change my mind here.
Yeah,
I don't think. I mean, not she wouldn't be competitive, but I don't think she'd be out.
And nothing against Caitlin or Sabrina; they're fantastic basketball players, and it's amazing what those girls do. I just think there's a different level to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one thing you guys can rest assured of is they'll never prove you wrong.
Yeah, and if they wanted to play in the NBA, it's wide open.
And they're never going to prove us right, so we're not ever going to find out. So, I mean, they don't even have an assistant. Only one team's had an assistant female coach, and that was San Antonio.
Is she gone now?
No, she coaches in the WNBA.
Yeah, that's right.
The head coach in the WNBA now, Becky Harmon. But she was an assistant coach for San Antonio. So, I guess I don't know of anything else. I'm picking the Liberty in a very close game tomorrow. I'm not going to pick
I pick New York at home.
Yeah, that's New York.
I'm going to pass on the pick.
And that's smart, Roger.
Just go against us, Roger. Just pick Minnesota. Go against.
I'm a big Minnesota guy here. I've always been.
He's always been a
Lynx, right? It's the Lynx,
right? I was going to say their team name is Lynx.
Okay, I remember that. I saw.
Wink, wink.
I was trying to change the channel once, and I couldn't get off fast enough. And they're like, "Here comes the Lynx." I'm like, "Ah,
here come the." Oh yeah, is it Lynx? As in, I click on the link? No, that's not it. It's a cat.
All right, go Lynx.
Go.
But real quick, MLS. I see Roger.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
Philly needs a win tonight, and they need a loss by either DC United or Montreal. So
is that just to make the playoffs, Bill?
Just to make the playoffs. So that's.
Oh, you follow MLS, Bill?
Bill follows MLS. I'll be honest. It would be like me.
Yeah, love my union.
Being with you with Minnesota.
Yeah. No,
I don't know
I
enough
haven't been
about it. I
following
do
MLS
know.
this much this year, but yeah, I'm a big soccer fan, European soccer especially.
Who do you like in Europe?
So I'm a Barcelona guy. Grew up Messi fan. Seen him a couple
It's like rooting
times.
for the Yankees. Boo.
Yeah, but it's not Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm a
Ronaldo.
front runner. Boo.
My
Nobody
kid
roots for
brother is
Wrexham.
my brother is a big Ronaldo fan, so we go at it. But yeah, it's Barcelona in Europe. That's my team.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah. Man City here.
Yeah, and I
uh,
like Man City. I like Pep
I,
Guardiola.
I, I had years ago,
They have
I
a good
followed it a little
system.
bit. I did like Man City. I don't like Man United. Voting for Man United is like rooting for the Yankees. I can't do it.
Not anymore. They're down and out right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, that's okay. I can still root against them.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Hey, Bill, Mullica Hill. Let's root for them.
yeah, right.
Mullica versus Man U. Boo.
And,
That'd be like rooting for St. Mary's versus Man U.
Yeah, my
Right?
one son Steve, he likes Tottenham. He likes them.
Yeah, I
All
like
right,
Tottenham
Tottenham's
in the
good.
Premier League. I'm a Tottenham guy too. Who do you like for Champions League? Anyone beating City?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that depends if De Bruyne plays. I mean, if he doesn't
Or
play,
Real.
they could be in trouble. I don't know why. I mean, I know he's injured, but he's been injured quite a bit the last couple of years. So
Who is that?
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. Yeah, he has been. He's aging. He's getting a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then who? Real Madrid. Real Madrid's defending champions, right?
Yes.
As long as they don't win. That's the Yankees there, John. That's the Yankees of
Real
Europe.
Madrid, yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid is, that's the
Yeah.
Yeah. Pele's not playing for them anymore, right?
No.
No. You got a shot then.
Okay.
Pele, be like rooting for Abe Lincoln. I mean, I don't want to be told. Is he? I don't even know. Didn't he pass away?
Pele, I think Pele did. Yeah.
Yes.
Last year or the year before.
I remember
One of the
watching
greats.
some games when Pele played. I think for New York, for the Cosmos or something, way back.
Cosmos, yep.
But
yep.
I haven't paid attention much to soccer since. I will say I did watch the Women's World Cup a few years ago.
I think you just like women's sports, John.
Apparently. I mean, I also remember watching women's ice hockey when they won. So yeah, you might be right, Roger.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
You know what? Let me tell you something about women's sports. For me, for some reason, sometimes it seems like they play the sport, whatever sport it is, a quote unquote old school way. Like
more
WNBA,
technical.
they still try to get the ball inside. They still run some fast breaks. Not everybody shoots the three. Ice hockey, there's quite a bit of passing. There's still some checking on the boards. They try to work the puck. I mean, I like that. And to me, women's soccer, for some reason, seems to be a faster pace than men's sometimes. So I'm like, I like that. I mean, the excitement and the speed and the fundamentals seem to sometimes be used more and make it more enjoyable to watch than, the NBA it's either rebound the three and dunk it or shoot the three and 50-50 it goes in. It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't.
Yeah. No, I think that my favorite women's sport would be softball because I would take that over to men's baseball.
I do. You know what? I've watched a lot of NCAA women's softball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you and I both know we've coached women's adult and women's little league softball.
Yeah. I can't sit and watch a men's baseball game, but
no, but I could watch a women's NCAA softball game in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Especially two good teams. Because if you ever played, Bill, especially in the infield, that ball comes at you. You better be ready.
Mm-hmm.
We know it from playing. It's like, whoa! You almost need to wear pads to play in the infield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they finally woke up, a decade or so ago, and let the pitchers wear catcher's masks or some kind of mask.
Yeah.
So close, and that ball gets hit so hard.
And the thing is, and they got to field it quickly because that's only 65 feet.
It's only 65 feet.
Yeah.
You better be ready. So it's to me those sports are a lot of fun. When I watch women, it's like you said, Bill, the faster pace of women's softball, especially baseball drags out sometimes. It's hard. I can watch a college, plus the aluminum bat. With softball, it's okay, but when you hear a hard ball getting and it's a home run, I'm like, That's kind of wimpy ass. Give me a bat, and give me a wooden bat. Crack. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that other in baseball, at least.
Yeah.
A guy had 65 home runs in college baseball. That translates to maybe 30 with a real wooden bat, and that's if he's a good hitter. Give me a
and to me, it's not getting you ready for the pros because it's totally. I think they should be bats.
Yeah.
Why haven't they changed that? I've seen high school kids playing these all wooden bat tournaments, and that's high school.
Right. And that's good.
So I don't know.
That's probably more fun to watch because the ball's not leaving the park with a check swing, for crying out loud, with an aluminum bat.
Yeah.
And I think aluminum bats, especially for kids, is more dangerous anyway. It really is.
Definitely.
The ball's jumping off that aluminum bat. You're playing hardball, man. I mean, you're risking some serious injury.
Yep.
But everybody's like, well, yeah, but it's cheaper than replacing a wooden bat every time it breaks and all that. Oh, wow. So we can save a couple dollars, but a kid could get hurt.
Yeah.
Where's the priority here?
Yep.
All right, guys, unless we all have something else, we had one hell of a show today. We covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Bill's big into cornhole. So Bill, what's the latest cornhole standings for the no.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't want to get started.
I gotta do some lawn work. Get me out of here, John.
Yeah, we gotta get everybody out of here. So listen, for our pals at Vineland Realty Corporation, once again, they are at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Phone number 856-690-9482. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks everybody down there in Vineland, New Jersey for sponsoring us. We appreciate it. For my pal Bad Boy Bill, and for our newest contributor who's kicking a little ass, at least opinion wise, and hanging in there with us is Roger Rebegila. Trying to say his name.
Thank you, guys.
Right, in the right way. Enjoy the games, everybody. Remember, tomorrow morning, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern is the kickoff. Jacksonville and New England, which Jacksonville is playing in England, which seems to be their second home. Enjoy the games, everybody. We will talk to you next week. And remember, the WNBA deciding game is tomorrow night.
Have a good one, fellas.
See you guys.
Good night.